welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-blowing creations from McLaren, the Speedtail. A Hyper GT that defies convention, blends beauty with brutality, and redefines what it means to go fast in ultimate luxury. Buckle up, because this is the McLaren Speedtail. A lot of you have not subscribed. It will only take a moment. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified when we drop a new video. Now, let's continue with the video. In 2018, McLaren unveiled the Speedtail, their most ambitious project to date, a spiritual successor to the legendary F1. But this wasn't just about matching the past. It was about reshaping the future. The Speedtail isn't a track monster like the P1 or the Senna. It's a Hyper GT designed for ultra-high-speed touring. Only 106 units were produced, the exact number as the original F1. Making it one of the most exclusive McLarens ever built.
It is the most aero drag efficient car ever made by McLaren, alright? So we're going to talk about what actually reduces the drag, but just check out how long this baby is. This is over 5 meters, 5.2 meters in a car. It's about the same length as like a full-size SUV. You'll notice there is no spoiler here on the back. However, what is super freaking cool, you guys, is this right here. This is actually called rear active ailerons. Look how this bends. So when you're driving, this is constantly moving up and down to balance the car, and it acts as an air brake. When you have to brake really quickly, both of these will go all the way up. This car is all about reducing drag, right? To be able to achieve those top speeds. The top speed of this car is over 400 kilometers an hour. So first of all, you've got the extra long tail, right? Then you've got these wheel covers here in the front. And these are carbon wheel covers. And what that does is that also reduces the drag across the front wheel. They've actually gotten rid of the side mirrors on the car. And what they've done instead is they put in retractable side cameras. When you're going high speeds, these actually retract into the car so that you've got a super smooth side wall. This paint has real diamond flecks in it. So if you see all of these little sparkly, shiny bits, that's all real diamonds. Isn't that crazy? That is an optional extra of $130,000. What? And look in here, you're gonna spot some real gold. You've got 24 karat gold here on the engine bay. Do you see that? Now I'd love to show you that in more detail. However, I cannot actually open this. Only McLaren engineers can actually open this to get to the engine. So you've got gold in here to retract heat, and you've also got gold here. Check this out. Look at all this gold under here surrounding the exhaust pipe, which is super cool. Look how elongated this is. So it comes out here and it goes all the way up here. And you've got the gold here to retract the heat. So the gold everywhere costs an additional around $35,000 just for that. Look at these babies sparkle. They are chrome wheels, you guys. Now that is super rare on a hypercar. They don't come standard though. They're usually forged alloy wheels. If you want chrome, that's an extra $13,000. You've actually got this cool carbon fiber here that is matte, and that's quite unusual. It's got a matte effect to it. And this here, the McLaren badge, this is actually done in something called TPT. It's the first time TPT has been used on any car ever, and that is a special type of carbon fiber. It's like super thin, and it's layered at an angle so that you get a super cool effect like this, right?
The Speedtail's design is nothing short of revolutionary. At nearly 5.2 meters long, it's the longest McLaren ever built. That teardrop shape? It's not just for looks. It's about minimizing drag, maximizing airflow, and achieving that otherworldly top speed. The car features active aerodynamics, including flexing carbon fiber ailerons at the rear. No wings, no spoilers, just pure aerodynamic harmony. Even the front wheels are partially covered with carbon fiber shrouds that remain stationary while the wheels spin to reduce turbulence.
Inside, there are even more quirky decisions, like for instance, they ditched the sun visors. This car has no sun visors. You can see at the top of the windshield, no way to shield yourself from the sun, except there is a way. The top of the windshield has an electrochromatic glass panel that you can dim or brighten whenever you want using this screen on the dashboard. You see here, you press it to dim and then it darkens and that's your sun visor. Or if you want the full windshield, you can press and make it less dim again. Now it's brighter and you have your full windshield back, and your sun visor is a piece of glass that can darken or brighten at your convenience whenever you want. And this car has several pieces of electrochromatic glass. As you can see on this screen, you can dim or brighten various glass panels on top of this car. You press this and it dims or brightens the glass panels on the top of the doors, so you can have them bright or dark depending on what you want. You press this and it dims or brightens the ones behind you, so you can have those brighter or darker depending on what you want, depending on how much light you want to come through the interior. And you press this little one and it even dims or brightens this tiny little window right above you, so you can have that darker or lighter, again depending on how much light you want to come in here. And of course the reason for this is, this way if you're in the hot sun driving this car and you don't want so much sun to be beating down on you, you just tap all these things and you can have your entire roof dark basically, and the sun won't get in. Seating position, because this car has 3 seats. Just like its predecessor from years ago, the McLaren F1, and also just like the Matra Marina. Although the Marina had the 3 seats and the steering wheel over on the left, this car has it in the center. The driver sits in the middle of this interior, just like in the McLaren F1. So you have the driver flanked on either side by seats. 1 seat in the middle and 2 on either side. Just a crazy way to do it. And that means you're driving this car not sitting on the left side or the right side. You're sitting directly in the middle of the cockpit, which is pretty crazy. Now, a couple of interesting things about the 3-person seating position. McLaren says the leather on the seats was specially designed to make it easier to slide across it when you're the driver getting into the car, but also the leather is specially designed to keep you in place when you're sitting in the seat. I'm not quite sure how it can be both, but that's what McLaren says. It's also worth noting the seats are pretty tight. As you can see, the back seats or the side seats are not very big at all. Adults will have trouble getting into them, but if you can fit for short trips, whatever, it gives you the opportunity to take 1 extra person compared to every other exotic car, 50% more seating capacity in the Speedtail. And by
Step inside, and it's a whole other experience. The Speedtail pays homage to the McLaren F1 with a center driving position, flanked by 2 passenger seats. It's like being in the cockpit of a jet. The steering wheel, the controls, the displays, everything is angled towards the driver. There are 5 digital screens, no rear-view mirrors. Instead, it uses cameras that pop out from the doors. McLaren removed all unnecessary distractions. No sun visors, no rear window. Even the overhead switches are touch-sensitive.
Now, the reason this car can go 250 miles an hour is in part due to its amazing aerodynamics, but it's also partially due to what's back here, the engine. I cannot open up the engine compartment, only a McLaren authorized service center can, but I can tell you about it. It's a 4-liter twin turbocharged V8, same engine from the McLaren 720S, although in this car it makes more power, specifically 746 horsepower plus 590 pound-feet of torque. Same engine from the 720S, but in the Speedtail it makes about 36 more horsepower and a little over 20 pound-feet of torque more than the 720S. So this car is faster at the baseline, but then there's an electric motor added on as well. Add up the electric motor's output and you get to a total of 1,055 horsepower and around 850 pound-feet of torque. Unbelievable numbers, the result being 0 to 60 in like 2.8 seconds on its way to that 250 mile per hour top speed.
Now let's talk numbers. Under the carbon fiber skin lies a 4.0-liter twin-turbocharged V8 hybrid engine, a modified version of the P1's powerhouse. It produces a staggering 1,055 horsepower and 1,150 newton-meters of torque. 0 to 186 miles per hour. That's 0 to 300 kilometers h takes just 12.8 seconds. Let that sink in. That's faster than a Bugatti Chiron. The Speedtail's top speed? A mind-bending 250 miles per hour. This isn't just about acceleration. It's about sustained, high-speed cruising. And thanks to its low drag coefficient and lightweight design, just 1,430 kilograms dry, it achieves it with elegance.
Lines cut into the bodywork in the back, which seems kind of strange. That's the spoiler in this car. It's an active spoiler in back, and it actually curves upwards when it's ready to, and it curves the body. You can see it's not a distinct spoiler from the body. It actually curves the bodywork up, and that is the spoiler in this car. You will never see that again. A spoiler that actually flexes the body of the car. What an insane piece. Another crazy detail quirk of the Speedtail. Now, part of the reason it can do that is because this particular Speedtail is fitted with 1K carbon fiber throughout the entire car. This is a special new type of carbon fiber you can get as an option. It is very expensive, around $600,000 in optional carbon fiber beyond what would be standard in this car alone. 600 grand in optional carbon fiber. You can also see back here, you have Speedtail written out in the back. That's not in regular plastic like most car badges. It's not even in gold. It's in platinum. Platinum badging on the outside of this car for Speedtail and for the McLaren logo in back, also platinum, and same deal, McLaren logo in front. The platinum badging for this car is an $84,000 option. Unbelievable. In fact, this car all added up has over $1 million just in optional equipment, which takes the sticker price of this one to around $4 million, making it maybe the most expensive Speedtail in existence with all of its impressive and crazy optional features.
Every inch of the Speedtail is a showcase of cutting-edge engineering. The monocoque chassis is made entirely of carbon fiber. Even the interior features carbon titanium weave, aniline leather, and electrochromic glass, which darkens the upper part of the windshield at the touch of a button. No sun visors needed. McLaren offered a bespoke service through MSO McLaren Special Operations, allowing owners to customize everything from the paint to the embroidery thread. Each Speedtail is a one-off.
Now, the decision to use cameras instead of mirrors is one reason why the Speedtail can't officially be sold by McLaren in the United States, because US regulations say you gotta have mirrors. The US government hasn't quite caught on to the idea of mirror cameras just yet. By the way, the three-person seating layout is another reason why this car cannot be officially sold new by McLaren in the United States. US regulations say that each front occupant needs to have access to an airbag if you get into an accident. Technically, these are 3 front seats, and so McLaren would have to figure out some way to get an airbag to these side seats. It just wouldn't really work. And so that's another reason this car doesn't work with US regulations and why it has to come over using the show or display law.
But with such innovation comes limitation. The Speedtail isn't street legal in the US because of its camera mirror system and lack of certain safety features. Still, collectors brought them in under the show or display rule, meaning they can be driven up to 2,500 miles per year. And let's not forget the eye-watering price, around $2.25 million before customization. The McLaren Speedtail isn't just a car. It's a statement, a celebration of speed, luxury, and innovation. It's not for track days or showing off a strip. It's built for those few who crave elegance at 250 miles per hour in a world obsessed with lap times. The Speedtail dares to do something different. Is it the ultimate Hyper GT? Maybe. But one thing's for sure. The Speedtail is a rare blend of art and engineering that we may never see again.